Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Oh, I love when I get inspired. I get so inspired for an episode. I just start jotting ideas down in my notes, and the whole episode just flows through on what I want to talk about. And like I've mentioned before, it's typically when I've moved through something or I've learned a really powerful lesson that I kind of wish I knew before and I had to go on the journey, which isn't always the prettiest, but you go on the journey anyway and you learn the lessons and you're always so much more grateful for it. But the reason I was inspired to create this podcast was because I feel like my life is full of beautiful, painful lessons, and I just find I can transmute that pain into a sort of wisdom that I want to share, and I want to help people, because truly it is through going through these situations and also looking for mentors, looking for inspirational people, looking for people who have the answers to help guide me on my way and be that light for me, especially when I am in the thick of something, when you're going through a breakup. Hopping on a podcast or a YouTube video that just inspires you or empowers you can really be the thing that helps you take that next step or helps you recognize something within yourself, because we are all mirrors of one another, and I feel like we are all here guiding each other home to ourselves in a really unique and special way. And if we can just help one person on their journey, like, the world would be such a better place, because truly we are all going through it. We all have our own personal stuff. We all have our past and our futures that we're worried about and all of the things. So yeah, I hope this podcast episode brings you some inspiration. I hope it inspires you in some way. Maybe you need to send this to a friend if they are going through it, or it's something that you can take and keep for when you might need it in the future. But I truly believe this is the podcast that every woman needs to hear, whether it's once or at multiple points throughout her life. And I really want to be that big sister and that mentor, the women's coach in some ways, that empowers women to recognize their worth and elevate their self-value and step into their power. Because let's be real, there is always work to be done on ourselves. We are not perfect, and that's okay. But what we are is absolutely incredible. And I feel like I just want to be here to remind you of that. And yet there are so many women, myself included at times, and many of my friends, where we have settled for less. We have been played, we have been ignored, we have ignored our own feminine power, and we have accepted crumbs when deep down we know we deserve so much more. And not only we deserve it, we desire it in our deepest hearts, and we accept less than what we actually truly want. And it sounds cliche, but there is a man out there who will not just give you a bakery, he will offer you the whole franchise and name it after you. But he is not going to do that. He's not going to buy you a bakery and give you a franchise and Bitcoin and all the things if you don't feel that you're worthy of it and you can't hold that. Like, somebody is going to do it because they see the value in you, because you see the value in yourself. But here's the thing, I've been there, I've been that woman, and I'm still learning. And sometimes it takes everything I have to coach myself through it when I'm in the middle of it. And if you've listened to my other episodes, I have truly not only been in the middle of it, I've been in the start, the middle, the finish. I've been swimming in the sauce at times of heartbreak and learning painful lessons with men and, going on my own journey. But when you're caught up emotionally, like entangled with someone, and you do have a really deep connection, I'm not denying that. Like, you can truly be so in love with someone or besotted by someone and have a really powerful, special connection with them. It is really easy to start justifying things that you shouldn't. I'm going to repeat that. It's so easy to justify the things that you shouldn't. It's easy to let the red flags slide, and it's easy to make excuses for behaviors that isn't right for you. Now, I'm not saying that for someone else, their behavior and, their actions might be fine, but you have to focus on yourself and what it is that you want and the kind of person that you want to be with, because they are a reflection of you and they help you be the best version of you, right? So if you're letting things slide or, accepting less than what you want, really, this person should be, by your side. They should be inspiring you, if anything. And if you're just feeling disappointed, or you're holding, resentment or guilt, or feel like you're holding your own power back by not speaking your truth of what it is you truly want, you're the one who's letting you down. And what I've learned is that understanding the truth of a situation helps you make grounded decisions, and it helps you figure out how to communicate and when to speak up, and also when to walk away and potentially when to stay. And trust me, listen to me, sis, I have been so guilty of keeping my mouth shut when I should have spoken up. I've stayed in situationships long past their expiration date. I've let people's awful behavior slide, and I've made excuses for them. I told myself all of the crazy things. I look back and I want to hit myself with a frying pan. I would just make up these excuses for men's behaviors of, oh, he's just going through it. He's so busy. He just needs to go through this season of his life right now. And then he'll change. This is because of his past, because his mom didn't cuddle him. I don't even frigging know. But we all make up these excuses for people. And also, we do this for ourselves, which, we need to work on. That's what I said. We're not perfect. And we constantly have to be checking ourselves and making sure that we are also not, making up excuses for ourselves and then, justifying our own actions. I've also reacted from an emotional place. So not only have I not spoken up, I have also spoken up when I shouldn't have. And I have reacted from an emotional place. I let my anxiety and my abandonment wounds trigger responses that weren't my best. And, I did that thing. I sent that text when I was triggered or when I was angry, or I felt like I just wanted to call someone out on their behavior because, they weren't texting me when I deserved to be texted because, this, that, and the other. I sent the message. I learned from it. It's all part of the journey. And you know what? We can only learn from our past, right? It's never beating ourselves up for these things. But if I can now speak to you from a place of, really having gone through things and learned some lessons, I really hope I can, because sometimes I cringe at not only what I've done, but also what I didn't do as well, right? Because there's polarity and duality, and sometimes we don't say something when we should have, or we don't walk away when we should have. One thing I've realized is, the only way to really see things clearly is to pay attention to how someone treats you on their bad days, when they're stressed, when they're overwhelmed, when they're upset. This is when you start to see someone's true character. Anyone can be kind and attentive when things are going well, but when the pressure's on, when their walls go down, you'll see who someone truly is. Men, I love them. I can't wait to be with a man one day. I can't wait for my husband. I pray for him daily. But men, there is this thing. They will pursue you. They will put their best foot forward. They will wine you, dine you. They will sell you the dream life. They'll promise you all the things in the world. They'll start telling you about this that you're going to do, that you're going to do. And it's not to not believe them, because I think there's a real beauty in getting swept up in the romance of it all. But you do have to keep your discerning head on, right? And then it's when you start to really see how someone shows up for you when they're busy with work, or when they're overwhelmed, and when they're stressed, or whenever they've got something going on. This is when you can actually get a better picture of who someone actually is. Someone isn't who they show up to be right at the beginning. Sure, this is a great version of them, but it's not the whole picture. And that's what we need to focus on, because often when we as women get triggered by someone's behaviors is because they are not acting the same way that maybe they initially showed up acting, or they're not putting in the same amount of effort, or their texts are kind of getting a little bit drier. And maybe this is the real version of them and you're only seeing it now, but you're clinging on to a version of them that you thought that they were. And, take their best behavior with a grain of salt, because what truly matters is how someone acts when things aren't picture perfect. Everyone gets busy, right? But nobody is too busy to send a simple message or give you a heads up if they're swamped with work. It literally takes 30 seconds to shoot a quick text. And if someone is making excuses, they are showing you exactly where you stand in their life. Trust me, if they wanted to, they would. But this isn't your opportunity if, someone starts showing you their behaviors and starts showing you a version of them that's a little bit different, for you to not start acting up and start calling someone out, because you do not need to educate a man on how to treat you. A good man will already know how to treat you. They aren't clueless. They know what to do to win someone over and to keep them, right? And so if a man isn't treating you right, he knows it, and he is choosing to potentially not do something about it. It's not to say that he won't. I will always hold on to the hope that they will recognize what they're doing and then act accordingly. When you know better, you should do better. But if he's not making the effort, it's because he really does not care. There it is. Of course, there's a time and a place to check in and speak up with how you feel eventually if you're going through this sort of situation. But it should be from a calm, centered place, not when you're emotionally triggered or upset. And I will use myself as an example because that's what I do. I remember I was dating a guy at the start of the year, and he went away, and we went from texting every day to every other day. And then a couple of days went by and he hadn't messaged me, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity to let him know that his communication wasn't up to my standard. And, was that the best thing to do? No, I should have probably just been bored. I should have been just turned off by that behavior, bored by that behavior, and, moved on with my life and focused on myself. But I took it upon myself to let that man know that I thought he was a better man than that, and he can be better, and he should be doing better, and all of these things. Whereas in some breath, it's true, but also it's why does he get that from me? Why am I out here teaching a man how to be a better man for potentially someone else? He can go and learn that by himself, and I'm just going to take that energy back, take it back, and focus on myself. And those good men that, I've dated them as well, where they truly they do get really busy, right? They do get really busy, hours go by. They will do everything in their power once they've recognized that to say sorry to you, to make it up to you, to call you, to plan a date, to set a time. Because if that man can book a barber's appointment weeks in advance, he can schedule a call with you or send you a text or let you know that he's going to be busy. Because no one is ever too busy for the person that they want. So what should you do when someone isn't treating you right or maybe starts to pull away? And this is the real hard thing because, if someone pulls away, they become a little bit avoidant. We can become anxious. And I am guilty of this. I did this on Tuesday. I will not lie. I was dating someone. I was out with them. I could feel them getting a little bit avoidant. I just felt the need to be a little bit clingy on them, or just just want them close because they pulled their energy away. So I wanted to pull it back. I wanted their energy back. And so I overcompensated for their lack of, right? If you think of a scales, if one person tips, the other person's going to tip, right? Versus if you're both in a secure place and you're able to communicate your needs and your desires, you'll be able to let this person know, hey, I'm just needing this right now. So the other person doesn't feel the need to, make up for the lack of. And that is a whole separate podcast episode in itself on anxious avoidant. I will do that for you because I have a PhD in that. But yeah, what should you do when someone isn't, treating you the way they were or starts to pull away? There's treating you right or treating you the way that they were enough to make you fall for them, right? Because what I said, what's right for you might be not right for someone else. But if they were treating you in a certain way that allowed you to fall for them or fall in love or get into a relationship or even potentially marry them, it was obviously enough. It was obviously ticking the boxes. So when they start to, pull away a little bit, or their energy doesn't match what it was, or you're noticing some patterns, the very first thing you're going to do is actually look in the mirror and remind yourself who the heck you are, right? You are gorgeous, deserving, and worthy of all the love and attention without having to beg for it, without having to yearn for it and to sit and stew over text and Pinterest posts and wonder what is it that this man can't show up for you, or why is it so hard? No, That's just like not a thing anymore. Like, I'm actually rebuking that, because you are a gorgeous human being. Like, you are a soul, and just the fact that there is like only one you is just the most amazing, wonderful thing. And so you should be just so like in love with yourself for that reason. But yeah, really focus on yourself and what makes you happy. That is the only thing that you can truly, really do if someone starts to pull away and doesn't start treating you the way that you want to be treated. It's like, focus on yourself and what makes you happy. Stop seeking this from someone else, because there is only one you, like I said. And if this person doesn't see that, it's their loss, because they simply cannot go and find another you. There is no one else that can offer them what you bring to the table, because no one else is you. Even if someone else comes and sits at that table, it's not your energy. It's not who you are. So they can't replace you with someone else, because that person isn't you. Now, if they choose to replace you with someone else and they think that person's better suited for them, it's like, Godspeed, that person wasn't for you. And why would you want someone? Like, why are we going after people who don't want us? It's actually really disgusting, and I have done it. You know, I yearned after a guy like last year. Thank God it was last year. It was so, we learned some lessons from them, but like, I yearned for a guy who just wasn't choosing me, because I needed to choose myself. I will never go after a man who's not choosing me. I'm like, that is like the worst. Like, no, I only want someone who's choosing me because I'm choosing them, right? And that is an absolute privilege and an absolute blessing for two people to look at each other and say, we're both going to show up and choose each other. So if you feel like, you know, I'm being replaced or I'm not being chosen, it's like, sis, it's like, let them go shop elsewhere. Like, that's cool. I'm going to be over here. I'm going to be like beautiful. I'm going to be focused on myself, building myself up, getting wiser, getting richer, like all the things. Like, you're just going to be so in your own power and loving who you are, that if someone else does miss out on you, like, that is their loss, because they're the one missing out on you. Period. You're not missing out on you. What you also should do is not chase them. What should do, it's not what you should do, it's what you shouldn't do. Do not chase them, okay? If someone starts to pull away, like I said, don't send that long text, the emotional paragraph, because that's you moving out of your power. A man who values you already knows your worth. You don't need to spell it out for how much you care about them or how much they've deeply hurt you. You're a gift, and anyone will be lucky to have your care and love. So let them come and earn it. Like, you don't need to feel the need to show them or let them know how much you love them and how much you care about them, because I've done this where I just wanted to pour my my huge big heart out to them and just let them know how much they mean to me and let them know how much I love them and care about them, and, you know, really fight for them. I fought for someone so hard, and it's exhausting and it's emotionally draining, because that person should already recognize and know how much you love them or how much you care about them or how much you like them enough to even be in a position to be sending that message, because you would not be sending that message to someone that you weren't already super close with. And if you were, we need to have a conversation about that, okay? Because, you know, those people that we do want to pour ourselves out to and let them know how much they mean to us, it's like, you want it to be reciprocal. And if they're not showing up in that same energy, then they're in a different space or place, and it can either push them further away or push them away for good. And, you know, I think it is beautiful, and they will see it. I've had a guy, and he said to me, I can see how much you're fighting for this, but it's almost embarrassing for you then, and for me in a way, that it's like, you know, that person doesn't want to fight back. And so it's like having that dignity within yourself of not needing to explain yourself, not needing to explain your heart to someone, because the right person will recognize your soul and recognize your heart without you having to translate it. Remember also, you don't need them. You are complete and whole all on your own. And if this man wants to walk away or pull away and come back, that is his choice. Because remember, nobody owes you a text, really. Like, of course it would be, respectful and an honorable thing to do, but they don't really owe you anything. So if we have these expectations on what we think someone should do, that's because that's what we would do, right? But that's maybe not necessarily what they would do. And we have to accept that about them, especially if we say that we love them or we care about them or we fancy them or whatever it is. It's like, if it were me, I would have followed up with a text if I went on a date with someone. If it were me, if I, went on a date with someone, I'd text them to check if they got home okay. I would be checking in with them during the week if I was potentially, intimate with someone, just kind of have that aftercare. Does that mean someone else is going to do it? No, because that's not who they are. This is who you are. And maybe they would do it for someone else. And if they're not doing it for you, well, sis, that's showing you something anyways. But it's like, if someone is not doing that, it's their choice, right? And you have to accept them for them, especially if you're looking at someone to be like a long-term partner or a husband or whatever it is, because you have to accept them for exactly who they are in that moment. Of course, everyone can grow and improve. Like, truly, I have grown and evolved so much. So like, I wouldn't want someone to see me 3 years ago and think that's the version of me that I am now. Absolutely not. However, you have to take someone at face value for who they are now. But it's up to you to decide if this person is showing up for you in a way that you deserve or what you feel like you deserve, because what we all feel is different. But you have to ask yourself, is this enough for me? Is he meeting your standards or is he falling short? And if someone is falling short, it's okay to communicate that from a really healthy place and say, look, I feel like right now your energy isn't what I'm looking for, or your consistency is just not working for me, and that's okay. It's not, I'm not closing the door, it's open, but like this is what I'm looking for, and if you can't meet that, that's okay. It's not worrying about if you push them away, if they return or not. It's, if this person does come back, is this person the kind of person that you want to be with? Are they showing up in a way that lights up your heart, that makes you feel valued, that makes you feel secure, that makes you feel seen? Because as a woman, we just deeply desire to feel, secure with the masculine and feel protected and, provided for in ways, not just with money, but like, with just like that masculine support. And so if there is someone in your life who is being inconsistent, who's going hot and cold, like playing this hot and cold game, it's going to make you feel unsafe and uncertain. It's going to push you into your masculine chasing energy where you're trying to make yourself feel safe by closing the gap, rather than allowing that man come to you as the hunter, coming to hunt you and claim you because he sees how valuable you are as a woman by his side, right? You're not passive. You can be submissive when he leads, but you're not passive. You're showing up as a teammate. And so that person also has to be on your team, and that person should want to defend you, should want to be by your side, want to be protecting you from, everything, and making sure that you're winning in life. And so if that person is actually making you worry, making you wait for texts, wonder if they're gonna, show up for you, take you on a date, if they even care if you're alive, like, that is not the person for you. And actually they are not helping you win in life, because they're taking away your brain power, your thoughts, your energy from you pouring into yourself, making yourself a better woman, or from your business or whatever it is that you choose to pour into, and they're actually taking it away. So they're not on your team. Someone who's on your team wants to make you win, and they're here to work with you. It's not always going to be easy. There's going to be challenges, and there are going to be times where you are going to have tough conversations and express your feelings and needs as a woman, but it always comes from a very secure, grounded place where you know your worth. It's not reactive, you're not projecting, and you're just letting someone know, hey, like, this is where I stand, this is what I'm looking for. I'm just letting you know that in order for this to progress, or for me to want to still be doing this, or seeing you, or communicating, or considering you, whatever that is, whatever that looks like, please take what you want from this and apply it to your situation, maybe to your friend's situation. Maybe they need to hear this. I think I need to hear it sometimes. I've caught myself wondering today about a man I really like, and I'm like, oh, why hasn't he texted me? Why, does he even care? Like, wow, I want to text him, or I would have texted him. Like, why hasn't he? All these questions. And instead, I just have to trust that the right man will know how to communicate with me, how to chase me, how to pursue me, how to make me feel like this is the man that I want to be with. That's all I need to worry about. And until then, I'm just going to keep on making these podcasts for you, getting hotter, focusing on my growth and trusting that everything is working out exactly how it should, because I'm continuing to be who I am, being the best version of myself, and reminding myself daily of how special it is to be me, and keep on trying to be the most me version of me that I can be. And you should be doing the same. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast episode. If you have not hit subscribe on Spotify or Apple, please do so. It makes me very happy, because I record these because I want to record them. So seeing that actually people like them is wow. And yeah, I really hope you tune into the next one. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, do all of the things, share it. It would mean the world to me. I just want to say thank you so much. You're amazing, and I love you. Bye.